One final thing I want you to comment, and you kind of did up front, but there's a relationship that I've sort of been noticing. 10 years ago, libertarians would have been gold bugs. Now they are more and more on the crypto side of things. But that's not a perfect relationship either. I'm curious what you have to say about that relationship between, because it seems there's some, like, one's an actual thing and one is funny money, but yet there's a lot of convergence.
So in practice, the serious Austrian fans, they're interested in Bitcoin. They're fascinated by it. They don't buy the pitch because they can see the obvious thing that, look, that's not digital gold because I can cut and paste it and make my own coin. Mm-hmm. And thousands of people have. But they talk to each other, you know. Mm-hmm. It's really wild, actually, because gold bugs come off as swivel-eyed lunatics, but when they talk about Bitcoin, they sound very sane and reasonable by comparison. Like Peter Schiff, who is a gibbering madman. He's much richer than me, so he's clearly doing something right that I'm not, you know. But so clearly he's good at what he does, but what he says is nuts, except when he's talking about Bitcoin, when he is the calm voice of sanity, certainly compared to the Bitcoiners he trolls. So, you know, at least I'm coming to think that gold bugs, well, they're badly wrong in all sorts of ways, but at least, like, gold has some history. You know, it has some cultural weight to it. Any comparisons of Bitcoin to gold are strictly Bitcoin marketing.
Right.
Everything Bitcoin says is marketing.
Also, they both have their eye on inflation quite a bit too, which is a little bit telling, maybe.
Yes, they both successfully predict 200 of the last 2 recessions. I mean, Bitcoin is mostly a symptom, right? Life is terrible. The economy is going down the toilet since 1980, when neoliberalism proper started. Neoliberalism has hit the problem that eventually you run out of other people's public assets to strip. So even if you want to do a capitalism, then that's doing it wrong. So interest rates are low. People are living worse and worse. They're not happy. They're getting desperate. And so they turn to stuff that's nuts. Rich people, there's no percentage return on sane investments, so they go for insane investments. I'll just get a bit of Bitcoin, which is bad and wrong and dumb. Poor people go, I'm screwed. I might as well buy lottery tickets. And they go, I'm going to get into crypto. It's a symptom of hopelessness. And you see stuff like, when the pandemic hit, what did the Fed do? Oh no, the stock market number is going down. You know, the real economy is screwed. They went, oh no, the stock market number is going down. We'll buy all the stocks and keep the number up, which is like, you have a gauge that indicates the economy, and what they do is they grab their finger and push the number up and said, look how good the number is. You know, meanwhile, people are going, healthcare, please, relief checks, please. No. You are dissolute poor people. We must give it to the stocks. And people got upset about that too. They felt for some reason that the system was going to screw them. So all this Bitcoinery, it's a symptom of desperation, I think. It wouldn't be nearly as popular without it. There are people who just want to lose their money, I think. We all have a friend or relative who's like this, who just finds a scam and gets another scam and gets another scam or whatever. You know, 20 years ago, they were buying ostrich farms. Now they're buying Bitcoins. And if they ever succeed, they lose all their money 6 months later on the next scam. So those people will be perennial, but material circumstances are making a lot more people like that because they cannot see any other way out.
Right.
And, you know, I think the solution is you need to apply yourself to a bit more social political change, but that's work and risky, and you might get your head broken and stuff. It's much easier to stay home and gamble.
Yeah, I think, like, you note that, like, specifically, like, it really preys on, for example, people's rightful frustration with, like, the Fed and you know, central banking in general, and the feeling that the system is rigged. But this is why, like, maybe to use another analogy, like, this is why it frustrates me, because sometimes, like, people were trying to sell it, point to a lot of real problems, right? Like, the Fed, yeah, there's a lot of problems there. Financial systems are really screwed. There's an article we did last week, is really promoting it as a solution to like, the humanitarian crisis in Palestine, right? And yeah, and it infuriates me. And, the thing is like the first 750 words like are accurately portraying like the hardship that people are going through. And then it says, and look, Bitcoin is like going to be the solution because some people there are buying Bitcoin and hoping that they, are able to sell it for a higher price later, essentially, right? And it's like, well, this isn't a solution, right? You're noting all of these like problems in a society. And then as you were saying earlier, yeah, people buying a lottery ticket and hoping that it's going to get them out of a fundamentally political structural problem that is creating the issues in their life.
Yeah. They ask all of the right questions, like why didn't a lot of bankers go to jail in 2008? That's a question a lot of people ask, but their answers are on crack. Being able to ask the right questions does not actually get you points in practice. Ideas are cheap, but we have to look at the system as it happened. And cryptocurrency has been a sort of perpetual motion custard pie slapstick Rube Goldberg machine that keeps circling pies over and over and over to people with very short memories. It's like a very complicated machine, and you've got this great big machine. It's got all these dials and levers and it's like a casino with 10,000 games in it. And actual people's money goes in at one end and goes out to about 20 guys. Like, that's how it works. It's terrible stuff. The only reason it's been allowed to go on this long is because in terms of the worldwide financial markets, crypto is still tiny. And even then, in the last year or so, you've heard governments really worrying. What if these bozos destabilize things? What if they get into the system enough to destabilize things? It's like the Bitcoin has said for years, take us seriously. And the government went, okay. And I mean, the goal of the regulators and so forth is to keep the system going as it exists, but their goal is actually stability, not letting some bozos crash it.
Yeah. Well, David Gerard, the book is Attack of the 50-Foot Blockchain, Bitcoin, Blockchain, Ethereum, and Smart Contracts. David and I couldn't recommend it enough to somebody who might be dabbling particularly into this. I think it's tailor-made for somebody like that who might think there might be something to smart contracts, and that's why you want to get on the ground floor. So, David, thank you so much for your work.
And thank you. And also get the second book, Libra Shrugged, the one about Facebook's foray into cryptocurrency and how it crashed and burned because they were really stupid.